Hey everyone, Tony D with an important lamp video. I know a lot of you are very upset at the election and especially the reaction to the Trump rally and then subsequent Capitol Hill riot. The reaction of the Democrats is completely hypocritical, overblown, totally uncalled for. I am 99% against it, but the Democrats, they're a-holes. What can I tell you? They're all a bunch of a-holes. And they happen to be a bunch of a-holes who now hold some of the levers of power. They're not all powerful, by the way. And I believe there is a lot of talk online about January 17th and the inauguration all this week, doing armed resistance. It sounds to me like a trap. Sounds to me like they're trying to lure out some Trump supporters to do something really, really stupid. It appears that the Capitol Hill riot was like that. Even before we now know Trump was finished speaking, people were trying to break into the Capitol building. There was a smattering of Antifa and guys who were just starting trouble. Were some of them Trump supporters? We're not totally sure. Some of them may have even been Boogaloo Boys, trying to get the revolution started from the other side of politics. I'm no fan of the Republicans or Democrats, but what you have to understand is they both agree on one thing: accumulating more power and money. And if there is an incident this week after the Capitol Hill riots and someone's killed or there's an armed insurrection, first off, expect that the hammer of, well, it won't be the hammer of God, but it'll be the hammer of the Democrats will come down hard. The federal government will crush anybody who dares rise up during that time. They're going to, if they survive, they're going to be put in jail. Otherwise, they're going to be killed. And you can expect zero leniency. You can expect no Republicans to bail you out after the fact. Not from where I'm standing. Now, that being said, in 1983, there was a bombing at, I believe it was at the Capitol. A group of old hippies tried to kill people in the Senate. And there were a bunch of communist hippies, the hardcore Weather Underground types. I forgot what they were called. I think they were called like May 19th or something like that. Anyhow, they actually set off a bomb. You can see the pictures from 1983. And then when Bill Clinton was pardoning people on his last day in office, he pardoned one of the terrorists, a woman who was caught, apparently, according to Wikipedia, with the entire insurgent group and 600 pounds of explosives. That's how much they were caught with. They were sentenced to 58 years in prison. She served 16 before Clinton pardoned her for whatever reason. She now serves, she's 65 now, she now serves on the board of, it's called like 1,000 Currents or something like that. It's a fundraising organization that raises money for BLM and brings, I think, BLM concepts overseas. Might be why the UK suddenly got BLM. I don't know. Anyhow, my point is not to link up a big conspiracy theory about it, but you see how the Democrats are. They're total hypocrites. They don't care. They don't care that apparently the Senate got bombed, and you know they are weak. They were weak back in the 80s, and just like the Republicans are now. The Republicans now are very, very weak, but it's all a dog and pony show because they always come together when it's time to gain more power and take away your liberties. Trump was the exception to that rule. He was. He wasn't a super proponent of liberty per se, but he was such a bull in a china shop, and some of the things he did the downstream effects were more liberty. And to sort of balance out things after the Democrats had kind of run amok under Obama. Now they're going to run amok again. Don't give them any more ammo to run amok further. Biden's going to be a weak, unpopular president who will probably not even last a year or two before they have to put in Kamala and say, well, it was Joe's fault. The last 2 years have been so horrible. And she'll be even more unpopular. So from a political standpoint, it would be a disaster if anyone out there listening to this video participated in any of these supposed armed protests. Because even if their intentions are good, look at the Capitol Hill people. Look at the people who just showed up to see the president speak. Some of them are being hunted down and investigated because they showed up at a Trump rally, even though they didn't even go to the Capitol that day. The same thing could happen. Don't go, is what I'm saying. Especially the thing on the 17th looks like a total astroturfed movement. I'm not sure who put together the flyer that was on Twitter, but there was a lot of red in it, and it looked more like an Antifa flyer than any flyer you might see from a Trump supporter. Keep in mind, Antifa wants to collapse the state. And to do that, they push the extremes. It's what the CIA would do in other countries. And they're probably partially behind some of these shenanigans, manipulating things behind the scenes. I don't know if they want to collapse things, but they might want to push it so hard in one direction that the Democrats get all the power and they, by proxy, control the Democrats. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what they got on them. Judging by how much surveillance they have at their disposal, they probably have everything. They probably have enough blackmail evidence for 99% of Congress. So it was probably one of the reasons Trump frustrated them so much. Yeah, I'll tell you what I told the Antifa guys. Don't commit political violence. It doesn't work. Back in the day, the History Channel had a special on assassinations and whether or not the assassin achieved anything. And the answer across the board was no. He actually usually achieved the opposite result of what the assassin actually wanted. So political violence doesn't work. It will, unless your goal is to destabilize things, then maybe you could say, but that's a bad thing to do. Because once you destabilize the United States, it's not going to be stable for a long, long time. A lot of people are going to die, and you may not even have a United States again. And that would be just fine for most of the rest of the world. Oh, yeah, they don't like us. They do and they don't. They like us when we're number one. They don't like us when it's time to, rob us and steal everything we own. Oh, then it's like, maybe you got a problem here. Why don't we just come in and, buy up all your infrastructure for pennies on a dime? Because now your politicians are really corrupt. Don't turn us into a banana republic. And that's exactly where we're headed if this keeps going. Do not do anything stupid this week. Stay home. Just stay home. Don't watch the damn Biden swearing in. It's probably going to be boring anyway. It's probably going to be a bunch of celebrities salivating over the new president and bragging how wonderful everything's going to be now. Let them fail. If you give them an excuse to go, aha, see, we would have made this all work. You see what happened? You see what happened here? I know it's unfair. They protested Trump every minute he was in office. But how did that make them look? What did it do to their institutions? It weakened them. It now is obvious to anyone who's been paying attention, not the people watching the news, obviously, that these people are hollow. They're empty suits. They have nothing. Let them continue to do that. In the meantime, what you could do, and I'll probably expand on this in another video, is you can boycott things. Stop giving these people your money. I know it's hard. Maybe some places you can't boycott, but I'll go over a few woke companies that maybe you should think about never patronizing again. And you could punish these corporations and media outlets. Punish them by not giving them any of your cash. And when they come back and beg, oh, please, please come back. We'll give you 3 months for free. We'll give you a bunch of food for free. Take the free stuff and then immediately cancel. That's what you do to these guys. You punish them for their ridiculous stances and their, dive into politics. Because companies should not be part of politics. They shouldn't be part of it. They're blowing money and they're making these pronouncements. Ben & Jerry's put out a pronouncement. I can't wait to look it up online. It's just, in my view, insane. Anyhow, stay home. This is not the kind of protest you want. Do not commit any acts of violence. Do not do anything stupid. If anything, just boycott the whole day. Boycott it. Don't watch it. Let his ratings be nothing. Let the MSM have to go to YouTube for some made-up numbers and just like, 150,000 people watched. Yeah, out of a country of 330 million. That'll be a record, right? That's the way you stick it to these people. As they said in the famous Simpsons episode, just don't look, just don't look.